when you prove it to yourself, remember, you're proving things to yourself, not to the narcissist X. You're not bettering your life in hopes of making them jealous. You're not bettering your life in trying to make them angry or regretful that they screwed things up with you. You're doing this for you, not for them. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Psychopath Exposure. I'm your host, Kita, as per usual. And we have a doozy for you today. Yes, we do, ladies and gentlemen, because today's highlighted comment is really, really long. So I'm gonna get an opportunity to practice my grammar as I read, or my grammar Yahtzee's skills. Tough crowd. All right, never mind. Hindsight is 2020. Boy, was that a great year. Said nobody ever. It's understandable that people would be embarrassed or even angry at themselves. And as long as these emotions are helping you to heal and rebuild your life, they're appropriate. I'm going to stop right there. Guys, I've said it so many times. It's okay to be angry at the situation. As a matter of fact, sometimes you need to be angry in order to get to the next step of your healing and your recovery. You can't just be completely passive and just maintaining a nice attitude all the time when you've been devalued, destroyed, betrayed, cheated on by these narcs, by these psychopathic, deranged, sociopathic losers that come into your life to ruin it. If you don't get angry, even if you get angry at yourself temporarily, it might just inspire you to move on to the next step. Anger is an emotion that's necessary as a human. It's not something you can carry all the time because it will drain you. It does not last. You may say, oh, Kita, I know someone who's always angry. No, you don't. You know someone that's miserable and they have spurts of anger, but then they just look miserable all the time. You can't possibly be angry and raging 24/7. It just doesn't happen. It's a very short-term emotion. Drains all of your energy. So you need to be able to get pissed off. Pissed off at what happened. Pissed off for being so naive. Pissed off for being so forgiving. Pissed off that you gave this person so many chances time and time again when you knew they had violated your boundaries, they had backstabbed you. I mean, you name it. You have to get pissed off and say, hey, you know what? I'm done. I am so done. And just do what you have to do and use that anger. Let that anger carry you through to do the things that you don't want to do. Let that anger just light a fire up your butt and get to it. So yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Ali Ross. Let's continue, shall we? If it starts creating a situation where you are not able to move on because you can't let go of the anger at yourself, that's when it becomes a problem. You have to be able to let these things go. Like I said, anger is a temporary emotion, okay? Temporary emotion. You can't live in it, and you can't crave it either. Remember Ren and Stimpy? Ren was always angry, but was he always angry? No. It just seemed that way because he had lots of bouts of anger. So he got known as the angry character. While Stimpy was always a clown, he was always happy. So you have to be able to use anger to your advantage, but you can't go the rest of your life being pissed off at yourself. You have to do something about it. You have to recognize what went wrong. You have to recognize what parts of you were weak, what parts of you felt like a doormat, what parts of you you feel you allowed this betrayal to take place over and over again, and fix it. or people will continue walking all over you and taking advantage and manipulating you for the rest of your life. Anger is a wonderful tool. It's often the propellant for change. People become angry enough that they decide they're simply not going to do this anymore. They leave the situation. And anger toward the situation or the abuser are expected. However, anger toward the self may be a surprise. People often find they have negative feelings towards themselves that are equal to or that are even greater than their anger at the abuser, especially when they see all the times they should have left but didn't, or that they had more control over things than they believed or were willing to admit. The key is to use this anger or these negative feelings to make positive changes in your life and in yourself. If they're only making you feel badly about yourself, or worse, holding you back from progress, it's time to reevaluate the way you're looking at things. Wayne Dyer used to say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Keep that in mind. There's one thing that narcissists are correct about. It's easier to be a victim. When someone's a victim, they don't have to take responsibility for anything. That may seem like the way to go, especially when acknowledging responsibility is painful. But look at how it works for narcissists. They can never grow or change or learn because they can never acknowledge their role or responsibility in a situation. They are doomed to making the same mistakes and doing the same wrong things over and over and over again with no way out of it, because they are in total denial that they are causing all these problems in their own lives. Sound familiar? Take advantage of the ability you have to do this and improve your life, even if it's hard to admit or even if it's painful. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does stupid things. Remember, you're not a stupid person. You just make stupid decisions sometimes, do stupid things. It doesn't really mean that you're stupid. So put that stick down. Stop beating yourself up so much. Everybody is part of things they probably shouldn't have been at one time or another. Everybody has ignored their gut and done something they knew they should not do. How many times have I said on this show that I ignored my gut feelings? I ignored them. I saw the red flags. I saw the things that were going on. I was seeing the signs all over town. I was having the dreams, the nightmares, the visions. I'm a very intuitive person, and I would ignore my gut and gave the psychopath X the benefit of the doubt time and time again. Now I live by a new rule. I'd rather listen to my gut and be wrong than ignore it and be like, damn, I knew better and now I got screwed. Nope. I did that for way too long. And you know what? It's hard to live with yourself when you constantly tell yourself, I knew better than that. I had a gut feeling and I still went away. I went against it. And look at what happened now. I got tired of that. So I'd rather just listen to my gut and be wrong and be like, well, okay, guess I was wrong. Let's move on. Then ignore it and be right, but screwed. Let's get back to this very long comment. We are all human and nobody's perfect. When we know better, we do better. If you now know better, you can now do better. The important thing is to learn the lessons you can learn from the pathologically narcissistic person in your life by acknowledging your role in the situation and addressing the issues it has exposed. And I was working with one of my clients in my coaching program, one of my long-term clients, one of my favorite clients. She was asking me to make videos on the silver lining that I always talk about. Guys, you have to remember, when you get over this narcissistic abuse, when you actually rise above this, turn your life around, when you finally rid yourself of that individual that caused you so much pain and heartache, you're going to be able to look back and find those areas where you actually became a better person because of the betrayal, because of the hardships that you experienced, you're going to realize how much better your life becomes, how much better you become, and the opportunities that you create for yourselves and that present themselves in your life. And you have to be able to recognize and say, wow, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for that horrible situation which crippled me, pushed me to the ground, and forced me to get back up and look at things differently and work harder to get back to where I used to be before I met that psychopathic monster. And now look at the life that I'm living. You have to be able to realize that no matter how bad it was, when you make your life better, when you make yourself better, in spite of what happened, you have to give what happened some credit. And I know some of the narcissists out there are like, yep, that's right. They're trying to take all the credit for this now. And it's like, no, I'm not giving you the credit, you pathetic loser. Giving myself the credit for rising above it. You guys got to give yourselves the credit for rising above this, for going through it, for never giving up, and then achieving all the things that the narcissist didn't think you could achieve without them. Because it's all about the narcissist. They think you're nothing without their guidance, without their control over every decision that you make. When you prove it to yourself, remember, you're proving things to yourself, not to the narcissist X. You're not bettering your life in hopes of making them jealous. You're not bettering your life in trying to make them angry or regretful that they screwed things up with you. You're doing this for you, not for them. Okay, remember that too. Let's move on. For example, instead of berating yourself for not leaving, seriously investigate why you didn't. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Were you afraid of something? Were you trying to prove something? To who? Maybe you can write your reasons down and really explore them. Be brutally honest, even if it's painful. In this way, you make the information you've learned work for you instead of against you. When we understand the problem, we can address it. That is how we keep the same problem from happening again. And that is the goal here, isn't it, guys? It's a delicate balance. You don't want to be too hard on yourself because that can impede progress. But you don't want to let yourself off too easy either, because then the problem is not being addressed. It's important to try to view things as realistically as possible and be really honest with yourself about your role in the situation. Remember, guys, we had a role in this toxic relationship, even if the only part that you had, even if the psychopath narcissist was 99.999% responsible for everything wrong that happened in that relationship. And let's not be delusional here, okay? Even if that was the case, that little itty-bitty fraction that belongs to you, you have to be able to look at that and own it, take responsibility for it, and change it if you don't like the outcome that you had. A lot of times we stayed in these relationships because we were afraid to confront our abuser. We were afraid of being alone. We were afraid of not finding anybody else. We were afraid of meeting someone else and that person not putting up with our own traumas and our own insecurities and our own baggage that we've been carrying from this toxic relationship that we stayed in for much too long. A lot of times we were supposed to call out the situation for what it was, and we didn't. A lot of times, man, we can go down a rabbit hole here, but this comment is so long that it's going to probably take up the whole video, so we'll save the rabbit hole for another one. Sometimes talking with other people can help put things into perspective. I don't like the way I read that, but you get it. And remember, this is not about blame. Blame as a practice is really only useful for as long as it takes to figure out responsibility in a situation. Thereafter, it's useless and serves no purpose except to stop progress. You know, again, at the beginning, when you're learning about narcissistic abuse, I like to validate the survivors. My mentor validated me. Believe me, I was very hard on myself. You need that validation. You need to point the finger. You need to blame the narcissist. You need to put the blame where the blame belongs. But after that, there's just a shift in your perspective. After that, you realize, oh, wait a second. If I keep pointing the finger out there, there's 3 fingers pointing back at me. If I keep putting the blame out there, then we're making that person responsible for our life. At what point do you guys want to have control of your own life? Because the narcissist had control of your life for a long time, didn't they? How do you destroy a narcissist? Well, you take back control. They hate that. That's the first thing you got to do. Once you got control of your life, that means you have to live with whatever outcome comes next, because you made the choice. And if you don't like that outcome, you can do something about it for the next time opportunity presents itself. You can make a different choice. But you have to live with it if you made the choice yourself. Now, of course, if the narcissist made the choice for you, if they had a gun pointing at your head, it's a different story. Where are we? This is a long comment, but a good one. In the end, and I do think this is the end of the comment, in the end, we are all fallible. We all make mistakes. It can be difficult and it can be painful. But if you can use the emotions you feel and the lessons you've learned from the relationship to empower yourself and create positive changes in your life, you can let go of the anger and the shame. So try to forgive yourself. You are allowed to be human. Wow, thank you for that. I don't have much to say at this point because you pretty much covered it all. That's a brilliant comment. Thank you for submitting that. Let me just read the name again because YouTube just changes the way names are now, but it's from Ali Ross, 2720. That was awesome. That was awesome. Very inspiring. Again, when you get over this, when you come out of this on the other side, that anger is going to subside. People ask me, a lot of people ask me as of late actually, it's like, how come you're not pissed off in your videos anymore, Akira? Like, I'm not pissed off at all. I'm not. I get pissed off when my favorite team loses, but that's for another video and for another channel. But I'm not pissed off at that toxic relationship anymore because I am not in it anymore. I got out. I got out of all of them. And I'm not going back in. I'll tell you that. I like my healthy relationship right now. I like where I am right now. And you guys can like where you are too. You guys can like where you are too. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of starting something new. Do not be afraid of being alone until you can start something new. But you do not have to stay in that turbulent relationship that's obviously not working for you. Otherwise, you would not be watching videos like this. You do not have to stay in that situation if it's not working for you anymore. And you can learn to be happy with something unknown. See, because right now, for most of you, it's the fear of the unknown. You don't know if you could ever be happy. But I promise you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And things do get better as long as you stop making the same decisions, the same bad decisions. Fix your picker. Fix your chooser. Stop dating losers. Stop dating criminals. Stop dating scumbags. Stop dating uber promiscuous women with no morals. Stop dating assholes. Stop doing it. I mean, it's clear as day. It's clear as day. You make the same mistakes again, you get the same results. Believe me, I went through it all too. I went through it all too. There's so much in life to enjoy, so many things to do, so many amazing people, so many great experiences you can have, you can create for yourselves. You don't have to stay in that situation any longer. And if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. And if it doesn't work out, I'll happily refund you your misery. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Like to know what you guys think about this awesome comment. And of course, if you need help getting out of your toxic relationship, if you're still ruminating, if you're still traumatized, trauma bonded to your psychopath ex, I have a coaching program where I work with a lot of survivors from the community, help you guys get your life back together, rebuild your self-esteem, your confidence, work through the traumas, and build a better life for yourself. I have a link below in the description. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in joining the program. Until then, I will see you in the next video. My name is Kira, and this is Psychopath Exposure. And we're about to wrap it up. Drop a like on the video if you got some value. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And again, share your thoughts and comments below. And I'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.